How to lose weight as fast as possible. Today we are going to give you 7 actionable steps you can take to do just that. I'm here with Adam Gilbert, founder of My Body Tutor. I'm Haley Pulley, the head coach over here at My Body Tutor, And today we're going to walk you through 7 actionable steps to lose that weight as fast as possible. Stay with us. I know, this is a little different for us, but stay with us. We have some good information for you. All right, Adam, lead us off. Actionable step number 1.
Yes, well, I'll just preface it with, the other day someone called me and said, listen, I have a wedding in 2 months. I know this isn't what you guys are about. You guys are about sustainable weight loss. But I have a wedding in 2 months. How do I lose weight as fast as possible? Because this does go against what we practice. We're all about sustainability. But I want to help, and we can help. So the first thing I would recommend, and I'd recommend it, is eat until you're satisfied, right? What does that mean? On a scale of 1 to 5, if 1 is feeling ravenous and 5 is feeling stuffed, you want to feel like a 3, satisfied and light. Like you can easily go for a walk, like you can easily go for a jog if necessary. You feel energized after you eat. You do not feel tired and lethargic.
Okay, eat until satisfied. I mean, I think most people would say they eat until they're satisfied. So are we talking like all the time, on occasion? Thinking in terms of, okay, I've got 2 months to get into my wedding outfit, whatever that is. Eating to satisfied. Like, how often we got to do this?
Well, like most things, they're all relative, right? So what satisfied might mean to me might be very different. Satisfied might mean something totally different for someone else.
Okay.
I think for many people, they might feel like satisfied is feeling stuffed, right? They feel comfortable. They feel kind of almost like warm and cozy. Like they feel full and really, and to them that might mean satisfied. So I think using the hunger scale is really important because it allows you to kind of feel how you feel. I think using the kind of litmus test of, hey, can I go for a walk after I eat? Do I feel energized after I eat? I think those are really important.
Okay, so we really want to hone in on that feeling, and we want, especially for that weight loss to come quickly, we got to do that pretty regularly.
Yes.
We got to get comfortable with feeling light after a meal.
Yes. And the best way to do that is twofold, right? Number 1, utensils down between bites, right? Take your fork and knife, put that down between bites, and take sips of water between bites of food. It will enable you to eat slower, and the slower you eat, the more you'll be able to feel how you feel as you're eating. And that's really, really important because sometimes we're so hungry as we're eating or before we're eating, we're shoveling the food into our face, and we don't even have a chance to process what we've eaten.
Got it. So it is a skill. We got to practice, all right? So if you're looking at a 2-month stint of weight loss, this is a skill to develop early on in this process. And then it's something to apply all the way to that 2-month goal.
Yes, exactly.
Cool. All right. Actionable step number 2.
Number 2, eat whole foods. What does that mean? Eat foods that make you feel satisfied, not foods that make you feel insatiable, right? For most people, foods that make them feel satisfied, foods that are high in protein, lots of vegetables and greens, complex carbohydrates. Ideally, you want to stay away from the processed foods, right? Processed foods, lots of sugar, lots of salt, lots of fat. And what happens when we eat that combination of things? It makes us want more and more, right? They become hyper palatable, right? That's why we can eat endless amounts of foods like cookies and pizza and French fries and all sorts of things like that, right? So stick with the natural foods, with the whole foods, because you will feel more satisfied and you will get away from the feeling insatiable.
Got it. Yeah, I always like to say eating whole foods is like speaking our body's love language to it, right? Because we're made up of the same stuff. Whereas that processing kind of destroys that and breaks that down in the food. And so the more whole foods you give your body, the more you're loving on it.
Yeah, I love that. And, we only crave unnatural foods in unnatural ways, right? So when you're eating whole foods, you're actually going to find your cravings go down too. And again, how do you feel after eating, say, grilled chicken or vegetables, or a piece of fish or beans or whatever it might be? How do you feel after that versus, eating a package of cookies. Typically with the latter, again, we feel insatiable. We want more and more. We don't feel satisfied. We feel insatiable. Big difference.
Right. Okay. So we've got the hunger and fullness scale. We've got eat more whole foods. What's actionable step number 3?
So actionable step number 3 is exercise more, movement. There's no doubt 80% of weight loss, if at least, is diet. It's about what, why, and how you eat. This is why you see people working their butts off in the gym with a trainer without looking any different. It's what you do between exercise that makes all the difference. That said, this is ultimately calories in versus calories out at times. That's a whole nother video, but exercise can certainly help you burn calories, and it will help you a lot. So I would encourage, if you're trying to lose weight as fast as you can, you have a wedding in 2 months, sweat at least 3 to 5 times a week.
Right. Well, it also helps you feel better, right? And listen, like 2 months of working really hard to lose some weight, you want to feel as good as possible. And I think exercise is such an easy way to get your kicks, right? Like nobody ever regrets exercise.
Totally. And it's also known as what's a keystone behavior, right? So when we exercise, we're more likely to feel good. And then because we feel good, we're more likely to eat healthfully. That said, exercise is always, our magazines and publishers love to run cover stories how exercise makes you fat. Exercise in itself does not make you fat, right? What happens is overcompensation, right? So we exercise and then, we eat way more than we need, right? So, we exercise for 30 minutes, maybe we burn 200, 300 calories, and then we come home and consume 1,000 calories. That overcompensation is what makes people fat. Exercise in itself does not make people fat. So just keep that in mind. To that point though, exercise can make us hungry though, right? And that's where the overcompensation comes into play. So something I always recommend is plan your post-workout meal before you exercise. This way you're not deciding after exercise, because after we exercise, we're tired, we feel satisfied. There also is what's known as moral licensing, right? So the flip side of the keystone behavior is, well, I did good, so now I'm gonna eat whatever I want. We wanna get away from that, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. If you got a wedding coming up in 2 months, definitely gonna have to address that mindset. All right, so you brought up one of our other actionable steps there right at the end, and that's planning, but we're not just talking like meal planning. We're talking about planning for really challenging times. So break that down for us.
Yeah, I mean, weight loss really comes down to, a few tough times throughout the day and a few tough times throughout the week. And we want to plan for those, right? Just like when, someone's trying to, quit smoking cigarettes or whatever, like you want to plan for the most vulnerable times of day, right? So is it when you first wake up? Is it at night? Whatever it might be. With food, it's like, is it the afternoon? Is it the evening? Is it once the kids are in bed? Is it when your boss is being annoying? Whatever it might be, those are the types of things you want to plan for. The more we can plan ahead, the better.
Well, and also, 2 months is a pretty long amount of time. What if there's like a holiday in between or some work parties or a trip, right? Like also talking about planning for those kinds of challenges as well, because we often change our behaviors with big events,
Absolutely.
So absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, good. So we're knocking them off here. What's another actionable step we can take?
Yeah, I think you just kind of led into it perfectly is, plan for holidays, etc. Like there's going to be things that come up, and I think indulging is important. As we like to say, in my body tutor, we want you to be fit and happy, not fit and miserable. And what I mean by that is never enjoying your favorite foods is not sustainable or desirable, right? So if there's a holiday coming up, if there's an event coming up, whatever it might be, plan for that. But the key is, especially because we only have 2 months, let's say, we're going to kind of turn down that indulgence dial to 1 or 2 indulgences per week at most, because we have, we don't have time on our side. So it would be really plan your indulgences carefully. There's a big difference between, planning for your favorite restaurant, versus it's a long day, you're stressed, you're exhausted, and you're using food, right? One is enjoying food and one is using food.
Absolutely. All right. Yeah. And I think, just to remind everybody, we're talking about kind of a short time period, right? So yeah, 1 to 2 indulgences a week is really as you said, all we can afford. And that can feel a little difficult, but it will make a difference, right? And then you get to think about how you get to indulge on the day of the event.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right. So another actionable step, which, you know, I think it's said a lot and people say, yeah, that's a nice idea, but talk to us about getting sleep. How is that going to help with this weight loss piece?
Yeah, well, sleep actually ties into the indulgences because it's one quick reminder is, you know, we often daydream about our favorite foods, and then when we actually eat it, we just shovel into our mouths. So in terms of daydreaming, to your point, sleep is so important. So, you know, I would say sleep is really important because it refreshes you, right? It restores your willpower. It restores your cognition. There's been countless studies that have proven that when we don't sleep as much, we're way more inclined to give into temptation. We're way more inclined to listen to our our short-term irrational mind versus our long-term rational mind, right? So sleep, while boring and, you know, isn't all that sexy, it really is so helpful because it helps with everything.
Right. Well, it's also really important to get enough of it because if you're doing all this work each and every day to change your body, right? It's actually happening while you're sleeping. So all that good food you're eating, all that exercise you're doing, like you're just basically washing it away if you can't manage really solid and enough sleep, right? While we're sleeping, the body is restoring.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, there's no question. Sleep is such it helps so much. Absolutely.
Good. And I also want to throw in there, like, again, I've said it, you know, we've said it. This is like a kind of a sprint, if you will, to rapid weight loss. So all of these actionable steps so far, you know, you kind of want to turn up the dial on all of these things and try to do them very consistently over this shorter period of time, right? So whereas if we're talking sort of general My Body Tutor weight loss, we might not go at it as aggressively. And so you really have to consider that piece as well. Like, how aggressively am I willing to go at these actionable steps in order to achieve my short-term rapid weight loss goal?
Yeah, I just remember what I was going to say. There was a quick thing about the sleep also, why it's so important is, you know, we've all heard nothing good ever happens after midnight. You know, one of the benefits of sleep also is that, like, you know, if you go to sleep earlier, you know, sometimes a lot of the indulgent eating we do is at nighttime. And if you're sleeping instead of just, you know, kind of keeping yourself up, watching shows, etc., you're saving yourself from a lot of mindless and emotional and stress eating, and you're restoring your body. I just wanted to say that because, you know, there's no doubt, you know, if you're sleeping earlier, obviously you can't be eating when you're sleeping. But to your point about the aggressiveness, yes, everything we do is on a scale. It's a dial, right? And if you don't have that much time, then you're going to really want to turn up the dial. But there is definitely a balance between being aggressive versus being sustainable. And when you feel like you're going to burn out, that's when, you know, you might want to turn down the dial a little bit.
Right. So, you know, talking about something like this sprint, I think for our last actionable step, which is really crucial, it's get some accountability, get somebody in your corner, right?
Yeah, I mean, when you have someone who's monitoring and tracking your progress on a daily basis, they're seeing what you're doing, what you're not doing. They can make suggestions. They can suggest, you know, tweaks, all sorts of things, right? They see what you're not seeing. It's a game changer. You know, they're going to help you get to where you want to be faster. They're going to help you get out of your own way. They're going to help you see blind spots. So, you know, there's no doubt accountability is going to accelerate everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's powerful. And think about anything we've done in life where we've had to really focus. I mean, chances are you've had an instructor or a coach or a teacher or a boss, a coworker, kind of breathing down your neck going, when's it going to be done? You know, did you cover all your bases? But it's truly crucial if this is something that's so important to you, right? Like a wedding, oh my gosh, or, you know, your child's wedding or whatever, an amazing vacation. And you want to be this heightened version of yourself, this new version of yourself. Why not have somebody in your corner helping you see all your opportunities and to inspire you and motivate you along the way? Because it's definitely hard.
Right. I mean, we've all heard of movie stars where, they have a role to get ready for and they hire a coach, right? And that coach obviously is making sure they get to where they want to be when they need to be there, in a safe, in a healthy, in a sustainable way. None of these movie stars are doing it on their own. They're all working with people. We've worked with some of those stars. It's a game changer. So I couldn't recommend it more. Obviously I'm biased, but there's no doubt, when you have someone there who can help you, move along and make sure you're tracking, you're making progress and helping you stay on track, it makes such a difference.
Absolutely. All right, so that's how to lose weight in a hurry. All right, and those are 7 actionable steps you can take. No, it's not rocket science, but listen, I wish it was. I wish we could send out something quick and easy, but you have those actionable steps. You have the ability to choose how aggressive you want to get. Get somebody in your corner. Let them help you along and look amazing on your special day. Anything else, Adam?
That's it. I think we covered it all. 7 actionable items. If you do them, you will get to where you want to be. There's no question about it.
Absolutely. All right, guys. See you next time. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you liked that video, check out the link for another great video right here.
And if you're having trouble staying consistent, if you feel like you know what to do but just can't seem to do it, I invite you to check out our coaching program. It's in the link below. We offer one-to-one accountability, coaching, support. I know you're going to love it, and let's go. Together we can make it happen.